This number really scared me. 50% of companies have AI breaches. And the worst part, most of them don't even know that it's happening. Now, if you're using AI, for example, to record your meetings, you need to take care of this. So in this video, I want to talk about some of the steps that you can take to keep your data safe. Before we dive into the how, let's answer the big question: are AI meeting assistants safe to use at work? Well, the answer is yes, if they are built with enterprise-grade security in mind. Most security breaches happen because AI tools use, process, and share your data to train their own models without your consent. So the first thing to check is, does your tool offer end-to-end data encryption? Is it SOC 2 compliant? And does it have a strict no training policy on your user data? When people hear the term data breach, they think often of that hacker with the hoodie that's breaking into your systems and then steals the data to publish it on the internet. Now, the reality is much more boring, much more simple, and it's what I call a silent data leak. And this already happens when you use a meeting assistant transcribing your meeting and then storing the data on its own servers. And well, usually what happens is an employee signs up to a free AI tool just because it's useful, helpful, saves him a lot of time, then invites that AI meeting bot into a meeting where sensitive data is being discussed. The meeting is transcribed, stored, and used by the AI tool to train their LLM model and to give better answers to the world. So basically what happens if you discuss sensitive data, for example, your client's financials, well, if a competitor uses the right prompt, there's a risk of that answer containing your information, your sensitive data. Obviously, we don't want that. One of the big risks in this context is we assume that a tool that's popular on social media is also safe to use. The reality is that most AI tools today are being designed for performance, giving fast answers. They're not necessarily designed for privacy and data protection. Just remember your last online meeting, whether it was Zoom or Teams or any other platform. You probably discussed names, data, figures, your plans, decisions. So you can see how this type of information could be very valuable both to hackers and your competitors. And AI meeting tools create security risks just by recording and storing audio and video, especially when it's without proper access controls. When AI tools store it without encryption, it's like sitting in an unlocked room. So proper tools should do three things. First of all, they should encrypt everything, where it's stored, but also in transit over the internet, and they should be using military-grade encryption and TLS protocols. The second point is it should give you a choice of regional hosting, letting you choose to keep your data either in the US or the EU. Just as a remark, if you're working with a tool that's under US jurisdiction, it doesn't really matter where in the world the data is stored. They will always have to provide access to the US government. Number three, everyone should be automatically notified when they are recorded and what happens with their data. That's also just proper meeting etiquette. If you want to try out a tool that does all these things, click on the link below and you'll get 5 free hours with MeetGeek. You've probably already guessed it. What's the biggest security risk for your data? Well, actually, it's that person sitting in front of the computer. I had a meeting recently and suddenly there were like 3 different bots joining and nobody knew exactly which one belonged to whom. And that's what I would call the shadow AI. And it's a huge issue for data security in organizations. It's the boss's worst nightmare that people in the organization just using random tools because it's useful, it helps them, and there's no general policy. The risk is that you don't have control where your data flows, how it's stored, etc., etc. So certainly there's no way to ban AI. It's just too useful. People will find a way. So let's make this bug into a feature. And well, you do that by defining one tool for the organization, one policy that you use all together. So you can set standards, you can make sure that data is protected, and you get additional benefits. For example, you can consolidate information across the organization from multiple teams, multiple meetings into one knowledge base that improves even collaboration and keeps your data safe. Now, let's have a quick look on how you would set this up with MeetGeek, because they're a tool that really puts security first. Now, first thing you need to do is use the link from the description below to sign up for your free account. And well, once you're logged in, you can start controlling your bot. First thing, give it a different name. You could call it, for example, Christian's Meeting Assistant. You can also define the entry message, so the message that people get in the chat when they enter the room, informing them about being recorded and where the data is stored, etc., etc. Now that we've got this out of the way, it's about setting permissions. You can decide who receives the summary, who gets the data, who has access to the data inside and outside the organization. This is also prevents oversharing, right? That you are in control who gets to see this content. And then last but not least, as mentioned, data hosting. You can decide in MeetGeek where you want that data to be stored. You can choose to only be stored in Europe, so you can stay GDPR compliant. So let me summarize. AI breaches usually happen silently through data training, meaning you forgot to tick that box. Don't use this data for training your LLM, for example, or by using a random tool that's free on the internet. Meetings are probably one of the biggest areas of exposure when you don't have policies in place, which tools to use and what happens with the data. So this shadow AI of people just signing up to random tools you can get rid of that just by providing clear guidelines on one secure centralized tool that's used across the organization. Now, if you're interested in learning more about how to leverage AI meeting tools to improve performance, collaboration, and efficiency in your meetings, check out my video, Best AI Notetakers for 2026. If you liked this video and want to see more of that, please press like, press subscribe, and I hope to see you in the next one.